Okay, welcome to this episode. So working on replacing the rear bearings, rotors and brake pads here on the Nissan Sentra 2009 SE-R. It'd be the same for the spec V as well, and it has the disc brake opposed to just the drum brake. It should be somewhat easy. Get into it and see how we go. Okay, first of all, get the wheel off. I've already got it jacked. Got most of the lug nuts off. Make sure you block the wheel at the front, depending on which way you don't want it to roll, behind the wheel, in front of the wheel. Okay, so this thing is you want to take off the sensor back here. I'm not going to see it there, but this guy, it's just a 10mm, pop him off, and then it'll be the brake calipers next, and then the rotor, and that'll get us to the bearing. So we'll get in there, get those things off. Okay, so once you get that sensor off, just give it a bit of a clean. It's got a bunch of dust and stuff on it. Just wipe her off, and then just tuck it out of the way there. So the next thing we'll do is the brake drum. So we've got one bolt up here and the same one down underneath there to slide that off. I think that's a 17mm. Let's check it. We'll get that off. And we'll get the rotor off next. So that's actually a 19mm socket, not a 17. That one. Just gonna sit them. These ones don't sit too bad in there, like the front ones, which you normally have to hook up. Yeah, that just pops off. If it's a little stuck, just give it a bit of a hit. Sometimes they do. So in here you've got your drum brake for your handbrake. So we're not going to touch anything on that. This is what we're after here. So you have, you can see them or not. Yeah, they're kind of tucked down there. There's one there. There, there's 4 of them. So just to squeeze in there and loosen those up. And then once those bolts are out, you can give this a smack. I'll show you and get it off. Okay, one thing I forgot to say is while you got this off, just use some brake cleaner, any brand, and just give it a clean off. Get all the dust and crap out of there. And you can do that again too once the actual bearing's out. We'll give another clean. Okay, we've got left 2 of the bolts in there because the whole thing will come off otherwise. Those were just 17mm bolts, and I just used the rod mallet, gave it a smack just to crack them a few times. But yeah, these are a little different to the front, where because we got the drum brake unit, everything wants to come off. So I might just tighten those up a little bit more. So we can give this a slap, get it loose. There we go. So you got to remember is that this part goes to the top of your wheel. It goes back on. That's really, that's the only thing you got to remember. So while you got that, you want to clean this kind of stuff up, rust and that, which is not good for your bearing, because just kind of see this one isn't too bad. The bearing's kind of encased a little bit, but still you want to clean that up. We're just using the Dremel, so we'll clean that up. Okay, so we've got that all cleaned up. So what you want to do now is you can get spray on stuff or just paste on stuff, anti-seize copper. Just helps protect from rust and so on. Kind of like spray on stuff, but this is what we had locally, oddly enough. But you don't have to paste it on thick, as long as you've got a thin layer. And on the face where it's going to connect with the new bearing. Okay, it's good to go. Got a new bearing. So all you got to do is remember that this goes to the top when it goes back on. You don't need to smash this back on, bolts will pull it back in. So before we do that, okay, so one thing you want to do is put thread locker on, just a bit onto the ends. Just help them hold a bit as you get these ready. You don't need much. Okay. Now I just gotta get this all going. I might put one through. Start with. Okay, just finishing off. You will put a bit of copper, then we'll grease in here. Again, you just don't need to thick. Help protect everything. Okay, put a thread locker on it. Don't worry if it smears a bit. Okay. Okay, with that there. Twisty act. That is up. Try to get them all in there and then just start tightening them up one by one, and that will pull in. Okay, the other thing you have to do is torque those guys. So I was just looking online, they kind of vary a bit. My front ones came with a bit of information on them. They were 92. These say they kind of vary from 88 to 100, so we'll go probably with 92. The recommendation that was for the front ones. That's pounds per foot. So see if we can get this in there. That's the only problem with this, is trying to get a torque wrench in. So try and get that done, and then we'll get onto the brakes. So I ended up using, I think it's what that'd be, 2-inch extension, 1.5 inches, and that fits in there pretty well. Keep it torqued up again around 92 pounds there to do them up. Okay, now we've got that done, we'll get onto our rotor. Now, the same thing, I still like to put a bit of copper paste on this. Just to help with the rust aspects. Doesn't really matter which way this goes on, because you just rotate the wheel when you want to adjust. And that's pretty much easy for that. So the next thing will be to get our brakes sorted. Yeah, there wasn't a lot left on them. This one. Pain in the ass to get it sometimes. And then that should just slide off. There's not a lot of grease left on those. Okay, so clean that up while it was out, get a lot of the calcite and crap off it. Now he's going to apply some brake grease. Can add a bit more than this. Okay. Actually, one thing I didn't do, you just want to push the caliper back so you can put the new ones in, because there'll be more meat on the pads. So while it's out, just take one of the old pads, sit it in there, get a clamp, a woodworking one like this one, and then just screw it in. He's pretty much right back as you can go. There we go. Should give us lots of room. The other thing I'll do while it's out is replace the retainer clips here with the new ones we have. So yeah, just when you pull them out, if you're unsure just which way they go, watch them. Just match up. sometimes. You want to make sure the seals just clip over. I want to move this back and forth a bit. Pretty much push them right up, they'll they seal. So, okay. Now the brakes. So yeah, always just check what you've got. So there should be one. You can see those two match, and then these ones just flat. So they're a little different side to side, to right. So make sure you've got the right ones. And your brakes will always go kind of with the curve of the wheel. If you're wondering which way they go up, just make sure you've got that. And this part I always find to be a little tricky. So the one with the extra dots, opposed to if you get them muddled up, opposed to the flatter one, you can see where the cylinder was. So you know, that's the inside against the actual cylinder itself. Just keep an eye when you do take them out which way they're going. There. So I actually changed back to the old retention clips. These ones are a little different. These tabs that stick out were a little different. They just kind of caught and bent. So the old ones are still fairly good, so I chucked those back in and it sits in there a lot better. So now I just got to put the bolts back in, tighten them up, and put the wheel back on and done. But yeah, they're a little harder than I want them to be. Okay, last thing to go in is the sensor here. Generally these hand tight, they're about £6 if you're tightening them, but which isn't much. Yeah, we're pretty much done. Chuck the wheel on, jump to the other side and repeat. That's pretty much it for this video. Thumbs up if you like it, subscribe if you want to see more, and we'll catch you later.